When the curtains go up, according to Vickie, you get one chance to make them say wow. So on a count of three, if we could all say wow. 1, 2, 3. Wow! Here's
You only get one chance, folks. I always wanted to do that. I see this pipe and drink here every day. I thought that would be really, really cool. Was it cool? I don't know. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I know that times have been a little tough recently with the events, Hurricane Sandy. We're just really happy to see you guys today. So give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, so today I'm going to kind of expand on what Wendy was talking about earlier with her presentation, The Power of Email Marketing. It's just so chock full of information. If you're just starting out, you may not know which piece to really focus on, and I thought that I would really spend today looking at content, really the stuff that your email is going to be made of. Okay, so if you want to contact me, certainly I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, all the good stuff that Wendy mentioned, but you can always email me at Vickie, VICKIE, @dcnj.com. Our website is going to be changing soon to ExhibitCraft.com, so I will have a new email address, but we'll certainly be contacting you for them to make sure that you can update your email provision. Of course. That's why I'm here. Certainly, I'm going to definitely be sharing all of these slides with you, so if you can't see, because I know that this is a ginormous screen, right? But you'll definitely get the slides after this event, and also I'll be sharing Wendy's stuff with you as well. And as I love to do after an event, just like we did last time with Wendy, we had a social media event, I created a blog post, and I put all the good stuff in. So you had slides, you had a video for the event, photos, all that stuff. So just make sure that you check your email, and I will get that to you. Okay, so before the email marketing that ExhibitCraft is doing, they were doing some pretty basic stuff, like the Outlook. They were using, what was that?
Louder.
Louder?
Sorry.
To background. No, it's okay.
Good job.
You guys hear me now? How about now? We can hear you now. Okay. You want me to talk for you? Yes. Okay. I moved 2 inches closer. That should be a little louder. Is that better? Okay. So, ExhibitCraft was doing some promotional emails on a regular basis. How often would you say it was? Scott?
2 to 3 times a month? Oh, before?
Yeah, before myself.
Once every other month?
Okay. But you were using email pretty sporadically, and it was pretty much for the purpose of sending out some kind of a promotion. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Can y'all hear me now? Y'all?
Yes.
Okay. From Brooklyn.
South side of Brooklyn.
Yeah, the south side of Brooklyn. Bright Beach. Doing some direct mail, some postcards and flyers, the pretty basic stuff. Okay, so that was BC, before Constant Contact. We also wanted to start doing some more social media. When Scott had gotten first in contact with me about 1.5 years before I came here, he was pretty well aware that I was using the social media space for brands to kind of promote the message, but more in a conversational and social way, rather than just a hard sell, right? So when I came on board in September 2011, I started blogging right away. I started creating content, creating a blog. I was on Facebook more. We had a Twitter presence. So I started building that up. So it was really natural when I brought Constant Contact on board, because they have a very social platform as well. So it was a great match. And also, the audience that you have in social media is not always the same audience that you'll have in email. How many of you are on Facebook? Okay, so if you look around the room, that's not exactly everybody. How many of you are subscribed to our email? Are? Okay, good. So we're going to have some overlap, but not all of the messages will be heard by everybody in one particular place. Okay, so why did I choose Constant Contact to come on board? And she's going to love this slide.
I didn't know this was happening.
Yeah, so one of the really, really cool features that Constant Contact had to offer as a marketer were the analytics tools. Because really, we can get on the board about anything that we want, but we don't always know what people are looking at, what they're digesting and absorbing, and are going to take action on. So the analytics tools were a really strong component of the new email marketing program that I was going to bring on. Okay? There are social tools, and the really nice thing about Constant Contact is that it's like, think of Lego blocks, right? You have these blocks that you can put your emails together with. You don't have to start from scratch and just start at one and then hit here. You have these blocks that you can build with. So I think of Legos, kind of when I think of building my email newsletter. We're going to go into that in a little bit. So you really should know your audience, and Wendy had touched upon this a little bit. Every audience is going to be different. Every business is going to be different. We are B2B. Okay? ExhibitCraft is in the business of selling and producing trade show displays for businesses primarily. Okay? But we also do corporate interiors for businesses. Those two audiences are very different. At a trade show, in the office, the audience is going to be different, right? But they're still business owners, so they may have some needs that are very similar. A lot of the businesses that we do business with primarily are with a marketing department of some sort, right? How many here are in marketing? Okay. How many of you, right, are in business, maybe as a CEO or some other role, but you have a marketing function? Yes. And the smaller businesses might have more roles overlap, right? But there is a marketing function. We're in the business of getting eyeballs, getting traffic. We want to get people to notice us. With an email, you also want eyeballs and that, traffic with the click-throughs on your emails. Okay, does this make sense to everyone? If you have any questions for me, because you are my guinea pigs. This is the first time I'm running through this presentation today, so don't be shy at any time. Case in point.
How many hours a month do you spend monitoring, updating, interacting with all the social media programs you have?
Monitoring my social media? Oh, I'm sorry. With social media, it's pretty much on an as-needed basis. I might look at things on my iPhone. I have some tools here that I can use, Hootsuite, TweetDeck. We can talk about that.
Personal, but in business.
For business, I think, I don't even know. I've never been asked that question. I'll think about that one and I'll get back.
Do you think you spend 2 hours a day on it? Hour and a half to 2 hours a day?
In the beginning, when I was really trying to listen more and trying to get a handle on who else was in the scene, but now it's pretty much maybe about a couple hours a day that I spend. And a lot of it, though, is in the beginning of the week. I'll schedule things to happen later in the week, so I don't have to do it all the time. You know what I mean? Yes.
But you're hired as, a marketing person, that's your job.
Yes.
So for somebody, I think you might be thinking like I am, for somebody starting out, or a smaller business, or, maybe the size of the business, does it matter the size of the business, how much time you need to put in? Because everybody sits here thinking, if I start this off and I can't hire a marketing person such as yourself, how much time do I put into this? Or is it too overwhelming? I don't have 2 hours a day.
Wendy?
So yeah, I mean, what we have found talking to businesses, for most small businesses, when it comes to social media, most of them are spending about 3 times a week, 15 minutes a day, social. The tools that Vickie has mentioned, the Hootsuite, the TweetDeck, these are dashboards that allow you to sort of schedule ahead, so that's something you can integrate. Your email marketing, putting it together, in the beginning is going to take a tiny bit longer because you're getting to know the templates, and you can always hire consultants to help you, but it shouldn't take more than an hour a few times a month, really.
And I think that goes with trial and error. You have to see really what works for you. You may not be somebody that's really meant to start out with Twitter. It may be a little bit overwhelming for you. So you tried one, you started one, and then you build. So yes, Scott.
You will kind of get out of it what you put into it. So if you put more time into it, you get more value back. But one of the interesting things about it, and God knows my family saw me go through this when I was investing the time to get it started up front. It doesn't have to be during business hours. You don't have to be sitting at your computer doing your social media stuff. Doesn't have to be 9 to 5. It could be at midnight. It could be 3
I tell
o'clock in the
them what
morning.
There's a reason why he's 100,000, over 100,000 Twitter followers. In the middle of the night, the iPad, he not only gets up from bed, but the iPad goes with him as he's getting the bathrobe, and he's
I am never always
carrying in there all the time.
Well, there's an investment up front, and depends on how committed you want to be to it. And then, like Vickie said, once you're up and running, it's sort of on autopilot, and you don't have to spend as much time. But again, don't feel like you can't run your business and still have a social media program, as you were saying, because it doesn't have to be done during business hours.
Thank you. So we're going to move on to knowing your audience. Kind of, if you're going to have an email program, you really want to know who you're going to be sending to. Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay, who are your customers? Really? You might have some idea now.
Yeah, they're businesses. We sell to resellers,
Okay.
so we're not selling to individuals. So we kind of have a limited scope of customers. We know
Okay.
who they are now.
So you primarily do B2B. Is that it? Okay, so your audience are business people who have a need to know something about the audio and visual. Right? Okay, so at least you have a little bit more understanding. But you have a sales team.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have,
Both internal and external.
okay, so you could learn about your audience more if you wanted to from your sales team, right? You could ask them, but you could give them surveys
In
and.
theory.
In theory, in theory, but if you wanted to also use social media, you could create polls to ask them questions. And when you get involved with email, if you build a newsletter, I'm going to show you how you can do that. You're going to also see what's relevant to your audience, and as you build it, it might change. But you're always going to be looking at what works and what doesn't, and that takes time. I mean, I've been here a little bit over a year, and it's changed. The content that I started creating, I'm like, how about this? How am I doing now? I come out from behind a curtain. Like, so what about this? And sometimes things just kind of fall flat, but it really takes time to learn what works right. And people do appreciate it, like the fact that you're trying and you're sending out a newsletter and you're trying to share value rather than just always send out a sale or a promotion. So just start thinking value and the content that you're going to be creating. So a little peeps, right? You have to really know your peeps. No, I changed the orientation. No, they're melted. I'm so upset. They're going somewhere. Those are peeps on mission. So also, not just what kind of businesses your audience is made up of, but maybe where they are in the purchase process. Are they potential buyers? Are they just kind of looking for information about what it is that you do? So also some psychographic information about them, not just who they are, where they live, what kind of coffee they drink, that kind of stuff. So just kind of really get to know the people that your audience is made up of. And audience is your email subscriber list. Yes.
This is something related. What, if any, demographic studies have been done with regard to, gender, age groups, other things within, I guess it would have to be within the industry, but for example, our industry tends to be very stable, male dominated.
Okay.
And to the extent that certain groups may or may not find these tools, comfortable.
What do you?
Meaning social media tools.
Oh.
One thing I've observed, maybe others have, is that it tends to be more widely embraced by people in younger age groups, people who are older age groups. And yes, I do, but maybe not to the same extent. I don't know if that breaks down across other demographic groups, but just kind of curious if there have been any studies about that.
So you want to go there, you want to talk demos. That's good.
If you're going to talk
I
about
love
it,
it.
I'll wait by this.
No.
Good answer.
No, I was just a little hesitant. I didn't really know kind of what kind of questions were going to come up. I was hoping there'd be some marketing people in here to kind of talk about that and help you guys to understand a little bit better about the things that we need to know before we send out any messages. And the demographics, a tip is to always look what your main demographics are, so you can understand a little bit better. Your question was the social media tools, how do you know if they're gonna be on there?
If there have been studies done on this, and also
Yeah.
to read that these schools are used for in certain areas. So if you're targeting, a certain group,
Yeah,
and studies, for example, may show that that group does not tend to use more social media as one of the other.
well, I'll tell you
Are there
this.
other tools you might
If you're in B2B, definitely you should be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the professional social media tool. That's it. So if you don't want Facebook, you don't want Twitter, at least be on LinkedIn. Are you on LinkedIn personally?
personally?
Okay, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the businesses that you connect with on LinkedIn are going to be people that will potentially do business with you. Start to look at the groups that they're members of. So you can have your emails also be discussions in those groups so that you can be top of mind and in front of them. Does that make sense? So it really depends on your audience, and that's valid, that if you're B2B, you want to have more conversation on LinkedIn, it's going to be trial and error. I will tell you, a lot of our clients and our prospective clients are on Facebook, and we are having that conversation. The people that we do business with are very visual, and you can see why. We try to get attention. So a lot of the pictures that we produce are visual, and it just makes sense that it will be on Facebook, but it's also on Twitter, and definitely on LinkedIn. So don't miss out on LinkedIn if you're in B2B. How many of you are on LinkedIn? Totally wanted to see all hands up. Wow. Really? Yay. Okay. Made up one thing. Okay. So, what's in it for me? And Wendy touched upon this a little bit, right? About really understanding what the value is for the person that's receiving this email. It's from emails. Do I even open this? Is this just another sales email? The types of emails that we produce, regular emails. We have some event emails that go out. We have some discounts that go out some certain times of the year, sales and promotions. So there's different kinds, but make sure that you use that subject line. It's very important so that people know what's in it for them the minute that it pops in their inbox. People don't have to open your email just because it came in, but if you have a really juicy subject line, National Enquirer, if that's the way that you want to do it, that's fine, that works for you. But in our newsletter, I don't like to send out an email that says our newsletter. That's great, but what's in that newsletter? So I'll pick out some of the content that's in that newsletter, and I'll put that in the subject line. Maybe the QR code that I wrote about, maybe about an upcoming event, something. Pick out and tease out the information that you want to get that attention in a second. Okay, so I'm going to help you learn how to aggregate content, and this is going to help you if you're producing content for an email, right? How many of you aggregate content? Do you use an RSS reader? Do you even know it? Great. Which reader do you use? Google? What do you use? You use Google? Okay, anyone else? Use Google too? Google Reader. Google Reader is a great one, okay? If you have a tablet, you want to use iPad, Flipboard is also another great content reader. Aggregating content is just looking for something out there that's sitting out there and aggregating that content by like, right? Like, did I say it right? Yeah, so like content you're going to aggregate. You can create your own folder. I'm going to show you how it looks in a second. But using a reader to pull in content that you want to know about, maybe industry information. You can have a folder of all of the industry news. You can have a folder of the competitors, and we do, yes, we do. So you want to start aggregating content, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, it's called Real Simple Syndication, RSS. Has anyone seen this little icon before? Okay, great. That's Real Simple Syndication. When you go to a blog, sometimes they're set up on websites, but usually it's on a site that has regular content that's always being updated. You can subscribe to that content that will come in regularly in your email. It will come into your reader, to your content reader. Who's the reader, right? I will tell you a tip. LinkedIn, you can also subscribe to the RSS feed of particular groups and conversations that you're interested in. If there's a question that somebody posted on LinkedIn that you want to see what the answers are to it, you can subscribe to that question. You never have to go to LinkedIn again. I really rarely go to LinkedIn to do the stuff that appears on LinkedIn. There's a lot of ways around that, and one of those ways is aggregating that content. Okay, so the RSS feed, you want to start subscribing to things so that you can learn to be the industry go-to for your profession. Okay, I really don't think you can see this all, right? This is just a snapshot of an RSS feed we have. So here, I have different folders, and these are blogs that I subscribe to. I want to see who's saying what in different areas. So these are my trade show industry publications. So when I have content that I want to share about the trade show industry, the blogs that are saying stuff and really good things, maybe I might be able to quote something from, are in that folder. And all I have to do is just go to Google Reader and open it up. Then I have a little marketing feed section. And you might want to check, I want to be subscribed to something that's a little bit something. So there's marketing related feeds that I subscribe to. As a professional, I want to always stay on top of what is the latest and greatest. But also, my audience is made up of a lot of marketing professionals who are going to be interested in that content as well. Okay? I was so going to touch screens. It's nice and fun. Okay, Sherlock. Just so you know, that was a cue for something to happen. Sherlock, here she comes. So, our lovely Cindy Crawford, our project manager, is going to hand out copies of our September e-newsletter, okay? So that you can all see, follow along with some of the content that I'm going to be sharing with you. Okay, so again, start at one. Just don't let it get you crazy. Just start finding great content and then sharing it. Okay, whether it's your own, you blog, you don't blog, look at your analytics. Look at the tools that are provided to you by Constant Contact. Right? Okay, so we're going to look at this e-newsletter. And what I did was for the next slide, I took a look at the analytics for ExhibitCraft. So I could see who's opening this email. Okay? I double-sided it because we're very green here. You all picked up on that? Again with these old ones. I don't know. So, I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know why I said no. I live in Wayne now. Okay. You're from the Bronx and live in Wayne? Ha! Okay, cool. So for this particular email, let's just take a look at this email for a second. So there's, in our newsletter, right, I always reserve one of those Lego blocks for Scott. Scott, you have a Lego block.
Yes.
So I also use the template for the newsletter that kind of divides at the top, in this issue, what people are going to expect in this issue. Okay, and each of those will hyperlink to that particular section. So on the left, so in the word from Scott, there's a lot of links in what I put. You see the blue underlined words? Those are hyperlinks. If you clicked on that, it would take you to somewhere else. It would take you either to another section of the newsletter, or it would take you to a website where it might be. But this is just what I wanted to show you. So there's a lot of pieces, there's a lot of Lego blocks that go into building a newsletter. And I will start a month before with blog posts that I've created. I will save them for the next month. Okay, so looking at the analytics, again, I was trying to put this together last night for you, and I was just like, there are so many tools, there are so many things I could share with you. I just took a look at one of them, and we're going to start here.
Can I just interrupt and say that this is excellent, because based on what I was talking about, if you notice, it's all filled with articles of interest. You can put a full article, you link them to read more, and we're not really selling anything in this. Excellent. As someone who looks at emails, really great job.
Yay.
Yay!
Go Vickie. Go Vickie. Go.
So I just want to show you one little, if you're afraid of numbers, don't be afraid. It's just one number I want to share with you. Okay, so when you look at the analytics, you're going to look for numbers that pop. Something ain't right. Something doesn't seem like the others. So I'm looking at the links in my emails that I know exist that I create, right? And I'll see, no one clicked through on that one. No one clicked through on this one. Oh, it's 12. All of a sudden that jumped up. What is that content, right? So I want to see, I know. I'm not telling you that no one is interested in other content. This was just a piece that I clipped for you, just so you know. See, I had some interest. But 12 people were interested in that link. So there's something in that newsletter that's juicy. Can you tell from that newsletter that you see in front of you what that link might have been? No?
I was all about our last event with me speaking.
Start picture?
No, totally. It wasn't about the Power Female Marketing. People were very interested in that event. We got some subscriptions from that event, but we also got some signups for that event in this email newsletter. Okay, so we created the event and we were able to send out invitations to that event, but I also saved it for the newsletter. So it existed in a couple of different places. The juicy piece of content in this e-newsletter
Scott's photo.
was Scott's photo.
He paid me. He paid me to say that.
Really?
Get an extra day off for that.
Take the rest of the week off.
Was the multimedia content post, right? So Wendy had an event with us here, and it was on social media since September. At that event, we took pictures, we took videos. You could see everyone waiting. And then I took the slides that Wendy shared, and I also put those in that post, right? So now I have this real chock-full blog post that now became an email newsletter piece, a blog, Lego blog. Okay, does that make sense? Just to use the analytics to really get better at creating content. Not just saying, oh, I'm going to put this interests me, I think I'll put this in there too. But just get in tune with your audience and who's already subscribing so that you can know what's the stuff that your email newsletters are really doing. Okay, anyone have any questions about that?
So tune into our newsletter next month and you might find yourself.
Yes. You will definitely, if you haven't guessed already, see a blog post with pictures and video and slides, and actually now 2 slide decks, because we'll be sharing Wendy's slide deck from the beginning, and we'll be sharing this kind of expanded on email content in that as well. So stay tuned. So why newsletters? We talked about this, in the last session. I won't go over too much. It's worked really well for us. It's something of value that comes in the inbox each top of mind. It builds brand awareness. I'm not a hard seller. Okay? I'm in marketing. My goal is to build brand awareness for the company. We have a sales team. That's what they do, and that's great. I was in sales before. I sold radio. It was public radio. A little tough. No calls to action. Yeah. So anyway, but that was a little bit. Oh, and I had a story for you as well. To always know who is in your email subscription list, right? I said, Wendy's got these great stories, and she comes here and Trader Joe this and that. I said, I got a story. Wait, so I almost forgot. Ready? So always know who's on your email list before you send an email or even create an email for them. Before I came here, not like last week, but I used to be a jazz vocalist. Okay? And I had an audience, I had an email newsletter, I had people that subscribed to my newsletter who wanted to know where I was going to be performing, what the latest and greatest in jazz was. I had sent out an email, and I didn't want to invite people to a show that I was having. I thought I would add value to this give them something to do, something of voice I wanted to do. So I had a survey that I wanted to know which headshot they thought would be the best for me to use on my new website. So I had a page, and the click-through was to a website that had 6 images of the headshots, right? That one I was here, one I was here, I don't know what I was doing. So I had this, you didn't even know I was going to do this, right? I didn't know either. And so I sent this email out, going, yeah, I'm going to get real input from people who are going to tell me which headshot works best on this website, whatever. So I get an email back, he goes, you know, I don't really think that you want the opinion of the blind man. I forgot that I put on the head of the blind theater of New York City and Chelsea on my list. Oh my God, I was devastated. So, you know, really
But
wanting
how do
that.
you even read the newsletter?
Still the red
What?
To know that, that's
Oh, no.
Because
get the transcript.
you have the transcript, right? So it reads his emails to me. Yeah, so that was a little hairy, but just know who's on your newsletter before you send them out. Even if you have a newsletter that's full of different content, make sure that there's something relevant to the people that you're sending it to.
How was your response with the headshots?
The response to the headshot, I don't even have that website up anymore. But most people did choose my second headshot, which kind of was me more relaxed. It wasn't a pose shot from a photo studio. It was just like they wanted to get to know me, I guess the performer, and that's the one that they chose.
So many people reacted to it.
Huh?
People responded.
People absolutely responded. They were, and I always personalize my emails. I know that companies are not going to have the chance to sit down and type an email to Vickie, you know, my name. But the chance that I'm going to open it is more likely if it's personalized, if it's in a voice, you know. And I see someone raising their hand in the back, I just want to go.
Could you sing something for
I
us?
was gonna ask.
I think, please, I totally know that was coming. Yeah, so I would say that people just really work into it. How many jazz vocalists would send out an email and say, hey, pick my headshot? Really? Like, yeah, really. I wanted to know. I always had a head for marketing. I was in marketing before I was on the stage, before referral and stuff. So I really wanted to know. You know, I knew that marketing would help me, and it did. I got the gigs, but you know, it didn't work out. But yeah, so did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Never be afraid to ask. Ask people's opinions. Here's the best. If they don't want to answer it, it's fine. They won't. But they're probably not going to unsubscribe. Probably not for that reason. If you spam them, they ask. So yes. You got a question? That's Dawn?
Yes, I wanted you to sing something.
Oh, sing? Oh, so the next one.
The rest of the presentation, please.
Yes. Okay, so I blog, and I blog regularly. Okay, I'm not the industry expert. I didn't come to ExhibitCraft with a ton of trade show knowledge about the industry. That's not really what ExhibitCraft was looking for, and it worked out perfectly. Because you don't need to be the industry expert to have a voice. You just need to know where to go to get the content. That's the best advice that I can ever give. You don't always have to know how to do everything. You just have to know where to go to find it. So, you know, aggregating content is going to be the best thing. That completely, you know, saves a lot of time, a lot of headache in learning how to get right. Because not only will it be things that you might want to expand upon and comment upon, but you can really develop relationships with people who are having conversations about those things already. But always, you know, try to give credit where credit's due. Don't really take someone's stuff and copy it. You know, people are very willing to do guest blog posts, and we will be having a guest blog post very soon from another industry leader. I don't tell you everything, right? You can't know everything.
You told me you did though.
So our current email marketing, just to go over, yes, we have the promotional emails. We want to make sure that we get that out so that we can let you know what the latest and greatest promotions are. But we have event invitations We have surveys that we do after this event. We're going to be sending out a survey to you all, and then we have a drawing for a great prize, right?
Get a new car.
Brand new car. Yeah. And then I analyze the survey results, and I share some of them with you. They're all anonymous, so don't be.
It's my car. It's green
So
stuff.
if you have any questions, if I said too much, didn't say enough, please, you can always email me, Vickie, V-I-C-K-I-E. Don't forget to E, and I will let you know this, one last story before I go. When I was a singer, and I would let people know on stage where they can just find me on the web. It's VickieSmith.com. Don't forget the E. Because there was a real estate broker in Las Vegas, VickieSmith.com. And I would get her emails, and she would get mine all the time because someone left off an E. So my musical director at that time at the piano would say, oh, we got in the wrong business, you know, like we should have got into real estate. It happens. I mean, it just happens. So anyway, Vickie at DCNJ, and with that, I open the floor to you. And Wendy, if you want to come up and join me, if people have questions, we're more than happy. And I thank you. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? And I want to thank Wendy again for coming. Oh, my God. Yes. Yes. Do I have to hide again?
I didn't have a question,
Yeah.
and you will maybe address this.
Okay.
Do so. You mentioned earlier when you about doing education events. What have you found to be the most effective content with respect to getting people? You mentioned a lot of areas, so it's all good. But what do you recommend, or what have you found to be most effective in terms of content that gets a higher response rate, or that people can respond to those types of
To the
things?
events. First of all, do a save the date. That always, we always recommend as a best practice if you can do a save the date. You want to personalize the invitation. Dear John, is much better than just a generic going at it. Send one specific event invitation versus just always marketing it in a newsletter. Make sure your events are specific to what people are interested in. I think that's really the first thing you should think about. Create social synergies with your invitation. So post it on your Facebook pages, tweet about it, put it on LinkedIn if that's where you're connecting with people as well. Give updates as to have a full-on strategy. Think of a 6-week strategy. You guys do a great job with that. I mean,
6
video,
weeks.
yeah, you do video, blogs,
Oh,
whatever
together.
social channels you're using, integrate that, let people know. So it's something that's called social visibility. So letting people know who else is coming to an event, if you think that's appropriate, sometimes inspires other people to sign up. Sometimes it might not work, but that is also a good strategy.
And I don't know if you notice, we have a big display right here, right? Beautiful teaching. Well, we had a green display right over there. There's this one, and that's where I shot the video. Did you see the video in the last email that I sent out for the invitations? Did anybody see the video?
I did last
Wow,
email.
Scott will be so upset. You did? Okay, cool. Yeah, no one's watching it.
I saw it. I saw it.
You did, yes. Yay, Carol. Yay, Exhibit
I
Craft
saw
for
it.
watching our.
And I did too.
You did too, right.
He paid her to say that too.
Take off next week.
Yeah, so even if, you want to send out a 6, a 3, a 1 invitation, if you want to coincide that with scheduling your tweets out, 7 days left, 6 days left, that's another tip. But, if you want to do that, also think about changing up the content in it so it doesn't look the same. So it doesn't look like it was automated and just sent out and didn't really think that people were even going to bother, opening. So if you just put a little thought into the content that you put into things and just change them up like our radio spots, right? A little copy goes a long way. Yeah, so that's all I have to say.
Yeah, and you showcase the speaker, I don't know your event, it's showcase the speaker, showcase the next event, attendees, hearing from attendees, that's why the survey results are so good, so that you can use those as testimonials for your next events and stuff like that.
Outlook is a limitation to how many emails you can do at one time. On constant contact, is there a limitation?
No, you can send as many as you want. First, we charge by the number of contacts. So from 0 to 500 contacts, it's $15. The next level up is 2,500 contacts, and that's $30. So, and there's discounts, like free pay, stuff like that.
And I'll also say that doing email previous to work with constant contact, when you send out an email, it's not just Outlook that's limiting you, it's the server, right, that you're sending it through. So I think when I was doing it on Comcast, I think I had Comcast at that time, I was not allowed to send out more than 50 at a time. So I would have to break it up, and then I would have to
Right,
send
and
another.
that's not a good use of time.
Right, it's really not. So this is a great service that just allows you to use their servers and they get it going.
Yeah, it's just not, that's why email service providers came into existence to help marketers be able to send home emails.
Just,
How do you do?
how do you send out all these things out?
Well, our service, our tool allows you to create email, so the beautiful template that Vickie created. So she customized the 400 templates that you can change. In fact, we should do a getting started with constant contact, it's like a demo. You can change templates and stuff like that.
How do you define the quantity?
Because we practice, we're a service provider. Yeah. So, and we have relationships with all the big ISPs, so as things change, rules change, we're right with them. We're probably the largest for small business in the world. And we actually know, no joke, we have a whole list team that hanging on our walls, we have pictures of like the 10 most wanted spammers. We really do. Like we know, so, no, ours, we have 98% deliverability.
I just want to say, I'm a little disappointed, just a little crazy. I thought it was nice.
No.
Like the fire. Any questions?
Okay, thanks, Vickie, great presentation, really wonderful. And just to reiterate something that Vickie was saying, a piece of this is my personal opinion. We talk about email marketing, we talk about social media marketing. I just have a feeling in 2 years, maybe less, maybe a little more than that, all the subject we talk about today is just going to be called marketing. The traditional methods of what we used to call marketing, it's not going to go away, but what we're doing now is really going to be what's referred to as marketing. And the cost per impression or usage, the way to get your word out there, just seems to be so much less expensive than it was before. So you do have choices, but one of your choices is not whether you're going to do it or not. You don't have that choice. You have to do it. You have to do email marketing. You have to do digital marketing. You have to do social media marketing. So your only real choice there is whether to be good at it or not to whether to do it or not. So you need to do it. Just to thank everybody for coming today. Also want to thank the rest of our team. Harry is our production manager. He's back there. The guys who set up the room, starting from the carpentry shop, Alex, Lenny, and Marcelo. I mentioned Ron before, and there's Claudia over there before. You met the team that's here. Carol, Dawn, Barbara, Cindy, Vickie, and me. And the rest of the guys upstairs who are running the business that give us an opportunity to be down here. Joe, Mike, Nick, Michael, Leslie.
Thank you for coming.
Again, big thanks to Wendy. Just to explain the relationship between our company and Constant Contact, we have no vested interest in the business that they generate here other than, we hope that they're really successful. Our goal really is to bring people into our building so we can deliver some content. Hopefully you become raving fans of our business and maybe somewhere along the way say, hey, I could use a display or two, or know somebody who could, or maybe some business referrals, or just maybe think they're cool. We think you should do business with Constant Contact because we think they're great. And for us, the advantage is to partner with a company with such a great name and who is so well known, it just gives us a little more credibility to the people. And so that's the relationship. But if you need to ask more personal questions or detailed questions, think you're around for a few minutes. Wendy and Vickie will both be following up with you for copies of the slides of the presentations today, and you'll see more content. We're going to email out. I think if you have a badge that's printed, you are surely, we have your contact information, right? We have everyone's contact. If you think we don't have your contact information, visit with one of us before you leave, just fill out a form to make sure you get it in our database so we can follow up with the great content. We're gonna send you a survey. Be brutally honest with you. You know, we love hearing good comments, but we want to hear that everyone's too, because we always want to just get better and better at this. So again, thanks for coming in, and have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
I'll email you the sketch of the wall.
Yeah, cool.